just gonna have one slow no wait buoy.
I would love to have sensitive areas.
So these, I mean, the DNR statute does permit, they refer to them as markers, which is buoys, but there are different types of markers that you can display.
What is the name when I talk to the warden?
We can send you the permit, but I'm the permit.
I have it.
Yeah, so it's listed on there. And going back, just because I was gonna say something on the enforcement side of things for the police. So, police officers don't need to be present to write a citation. So it's something that can be discussed with the town, is some kind of program, you know, just for citizen reports, affidavits that are reported for purposes of writing a citation. So that, for example, that happens very often with school buses.
Wouldn't it be confusing when you mention different types of buoys? I mean, in the end.
Yeah, I know.
It is slow no wake in
It's
the
slow no
end.
wake.
People are gonna be confused with the color. I mean, if you see a buoy, I think, at least from my common sense standpoint, it means slow down, caution. If you have different colors, people are gonna make different assumptions. It's possible.
But educate them as to what they.
Well, that's a nice word, but how do you educate everybody?
And the key is, what is this, the thing with sensitive areas,
Alright.
I can still go in there with my trolling motor to fit. I just
John's
can't go.
question.
Start.
No, sorry,
It's good stuff, slow no wake.
I ignored him, everyone else is talking over everyone else, so, did you wanna say something?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just observing.
Alright, well, we need to get this moving, right? So, I'm at a point where, do we have a quote on buoys?
Not for the full quote, we have an idea, yes, we have pricing,
We have
but
price,
we didn't get pricing on,
the
that
exact
we need
number.
30 buoys. This map here has 88 buoys on it, and we currently have 80 on the lake, including private buoys. I don't know what shape they're all in. So, probably have to buy a couple dozen, maybe 30.
Yeah, some are not in good shape.
So should we start by saying, let's purchase the 2,000 buoys?
Well, we'll get a count, I'll find out how many are in rough shape and.
Should we submit for a permit first?
I think we're gonna get the permit, so let's,
Yeah.
I mean, how long does it take to do buoys? Tomorrow?
No,
No,
it's a few weeks,
Few weeks.
yeah.
2 weeks, 2 weeks.
We can, submit the permit. I'm happy to go either way, but let's get moving.
Are we agreeing that this is the plan?
I don't know, we have a motion to approve the plan.
I don't think we can, it's not on the agenda.
Well,
It might be, it might be.
maps,
Discussion of unit enhancement, law enforcement, needed enhanced law enforcement, like Beulah Management Education, maps, safety plan, enforcement and cooperation. Discussion and possible action. If we need it separate,
Yeah, so I think you can, I mean, depending what the motion is.
So why don't we just make a motion to approve this map and purchase up to 30 buoys? Let's do it.
yeah, we could,
And I would authorize somebody on the board to take any necessary steps or actions in that respect.
including putting something else for training on with private buoys. And let's contact the first before we do that, because I want
That's the warden.
contact the ward. Okay, so is that the issue then?
Nope.
Is there a second?
Who's the person that you're authorizing? Jess?
Jess will be the lead,
Okay.
up to 30 buoys, 30 buoys.
You sure you can do that?
And permit, and I'll help you.
I think it's fine doing it, but should that be safe? I'll sign for it, but I think it's better.
Are we comfortable that we're okay?
Oh,
Now I got a question if I could.
Go ahead.
Is it possible to get 3 buoys Not fancy ones, but just something to mark the sensitive area where the channel comes out from underneath the culvert on Stringer's Bridge. That way, because that's a very sensitive area over there, it's like 12 to 16 inches deep. We don't want people meandering in there. They don't need to be full buoys, nice ones, just something to mark the edge of the weed bed so people stay out of there.
That's similar to all of the other areas. Yeah.
So I know what he's talking about,
Because it meanders, it goes about 35, 40 feet off the edge of the shore, and if you just run out of the culvert and just go straight, you're gonna go right through the lily pads, and you're gonna muck up the bottom of the lake and rip it all to hell.
What about, so the channel between the legs, we have people, they aim for the buoys, right? They go on each side of the buoys, so they have to be clear not to do that.
Well, the problem is with the channel by us, you have to stay in the exact channel. If you go too far to the south, you're in the lily pads. You go too far to the north, you're in the lily pads. You got 3 or 4 feet of water in the center of the channel, which is great. But if you go a little to the south, you got 18 to 20 inches of water. You go a little to the north, you got 18 or 20 inches of water. So there's a finite path you need to stay on there.
that's why you need green or red buoys on each
Yeah,
side.
just something to mark it. And they don't even have to be fancy, just something to mark it.
I like the green and red.
Yeah.
How many do you think we need, John?
If you really want to be fancy, I'd say three on each side or 2 on each side.
2 on each side?
Yeah. As long as you're gonna do a plan and make a drawing,
We'll take a lot.
I also put them on there.
Yeah, so that we have this.
It's just to protect the sensitive area there.
Alright. Is there, I think we've got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Oh, hearing none. Second. All in favor of motion, can you recap the motion?
The motion is to move forward with the plan, get the buoys on order, get the permit process moving.
And contact those with private police, veterinarian license, private police, okay? And as a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? No one opposed, that motion carries. Alright. E2, discussion and possible action on authorize further studies of other non-wash related impact caused by a variety of watercraft and Inc. We had a study by Terra Vigilus established, that there is, damage to the bottom of the caused by downwash. Their study did not focus, there was some, confirmatory study of the wave impact on the shoreline of Lake Beulah. That study, unfortunately, because our search boat that we rented, that I rented on behalf of the district, had a mechanical, we had a substitute search boat, it took place, the testing took place, the search boat testing took place on the second day. The second day had some adverse weather. Additionally, well, I'd be happy to let PLE step forward, but PLE has raised Scarab? Okay, I haven't heard of that
That's,
one.
that, you see, you put them out.
Okay.
They don't look like geckos, but they are.
Right, and that's the style, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Filling that with powerful jet ski, and then a monster pontoon, we've got one, we have to have one on the lake that's got 300 horse. If not, I know we've got a couple of those.
Low power.
Yeah, just a baby pontoon. This would be, I would volunteer to put this on the district, to send a note to the riparian rights owners and say, if you have a boat, we would like you to drive it. For this test, we would like to see it at, sign up time. You have to be a little flexible on day because this is all weather dependent. We wanna see a startup. We wanna see a planing speed. We wanna see, I'm gonna call it a plowing speed. Plowing type operation. And essentially the camera setup would be the same. It would be underwater, 4 views, you see the boat come over the top, you see any effects on the bottom. I think, we would choose, similar locations to what we had last. We had to move the location of the circle testing on the second day because it was so thin, we were basically gonna get the tripod to stand up. The underwater tripod, the buoy was pulling, right, the buoy was pulling the tripod over. But we essentially run the same test and see what results we got. The purpose of that would be, we know we're causing damage to the surf boats, at 15 feet, we know that it's having an effect on the bottom at 20 feet. We wanna understand, from a lake district standpoint, is there something further we can do to help protect this lake, for future generations? So, I think it would be best if we established a broader scope of test. Oh, apparently, we didn't know.
So on the last, study, was there any reason that they weren't here?
They, would be here.
That was the next study. To pay for a study like that, not have them here. Instead of looking.
Understood.
It seems like should have been done this last time. Cause it seems like we really, it was a very one-sided study that more people should know about, the town should, more people should be involved in it.
But can't go back in time. We can only identify coulda, shoulda, woulda.
One thing to consider that's very difficult to consider, a 2030 boat. In other words, what's the future boat gonna be on this lake? And I think I've read enough to say that, the wakeboard boats are getting more powerful as time goes on. And they're getting bigger, and they're probably producing bigger waves. So if we can project somehow the future, because that's what we're after here. I just wanna, consider that somehow. I'm not sure how, but I think it's important to consider that. They certainly are getting bigger.
You could run 2 boats next to each other and resonate their waves. It'll
What's
make
that?
you could run 2 boats right near each other and it'll resonate their waves and make you a big wave.
Let's not do that.
If you wanna make it bigger.
I don't, let's just make it small. Yeah, all the boats are getting bigger. There's a 27 and a half foot, not just a wings. Right. That's the whole issue. And I honestly, I do believe it's a operator error issue. So there are too many people to call out others. I do not have a scope of work, for this. I wanted to talk about this with the board. I expect the scope of work to be proposed.
Is there any other companies that do it, that work? really would have thought they would conducted it differently, like, not the fact of the boat, like, just not even do it if we didn't have the proper boats that aren't even close to generating the same thing. It just seemed like it was, very skewed to prove that wakeboard boats were wrong, and that they're effective. I didn't know that, yeah, there's definitely an effect. Like you're saying now, why were we doing stuff like that before, when that's, is so, they just didn't do their due diligence in my mind. Like, us hiring them to do it, they should have done their due diligence to make it sure it was good.
Who is they?
Their business.
I think their position on that is, they somewhat disagree with my position. It's,
Right, but then you wouldn't be putting the boat at plane compared to one going 10 miles an hour.
Actually,
You'd be putting them both.
we have the video, it's in our info, the one that's plowing, so. No, it's not 350 bucks.
Right, it's about the smallest, the smallest sea ray out there.
So the largest one.
18-foot sea ray.
And I suppose we could, we can add a ski boat there at least, even if it's planing, prop angle's going down, and it's, even my old one's 200 and something horsepower.
Well, we have big cobalt that's over here, like,
Right.
those things are, you see the hulls of those.
Sea ray, that's sea ray pulling the tubes,
So I think that's.
but there's not 40 of them out there, that's the key.
But what I need, I think, is a motion to authorize A, to put it out to recreation rights owners to say, hey, we want your boat, we want it on this day, or this day. We want you to drive it. We might have a referee ride along it, I think Ron just volunteered for that. I'm kidding, sorry, Ron. And, you have to be a little bit flexible on the day, and I don't have a statement where to propose yet, as soon as I have it, here.
What kind of costs are we looking at?
The cost would be essentially the same cost, which was 10.
Somewhere between 5 and 10. This motion would be to have you look into this, and develop the plan, get a statement of work, get quotes, then come back to the board for approval.
Yes.
I'll make that motion for you to go do some work.
Is there a second?
It's a unique thing. Second, I'll do that.
Is there any further discussion? Alright, I got some work to do. I'm sorry. All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Alright. I don't even have any public comments anymore, but we should probably have public comments.
I'll start.
Can I just, I have to do this, say name, right? This is an opportunity for citizens to share their opinions with the board members on any topic they choose. However, due to Wisconsin open meeting law, the board is not able to answer questions or respond to comments. All comments should be directed to the board. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers are asked to state their name and address before they begin speaking. I'll just compliment, Mr. Stokes. He always stands, so sometimes we can't see people in the back. I get a little uncomfortable when someone's talking, I can see them. So if you wouldn't mind, if I can't see you, would you stand up?
Rich Faust, W1928 Pasco Line. I'm gonna talk about the buoy thing real quick. Ryan and I happened to move a couple of buoys the other day for some people, and I'm telling you, you need to have the right people doing it, because we busted our balls. Excuse me, sorry. And, you need to hire a company, you can't have Stu and Doug putting out 88 or 100 buoys. One injury, back, shoulder, blows out the knee, whatever, it's gonna cost more than what it would to call, hire complete piers or get it some estimates. But they need to go and do it to have the big crane, the barge to get all the buoys on. I mean, Dougie's running around with 6, 8 buoys in the John boat, dumping them here, and then you got Stu using his own equipment, and I don't know where there's a conflict of interest if we're paying him privately or per hour, when he's using his pontoons, his little barge pontoons, so if you, I would go and do it the way Potter's does and hire the company to put the buoys in. And, Stu's got them in Potter's Lake way after Memorial Day weekend, I think it was almost like the 1st of June. Because he's, busy doing stuff, and that takes a lot of work to do. Second thing with the wake surf boats, everybody went and traded their big Sea Ray in and bought wake surf boats. If you count, we probably have 5 large Sea Rays in that cobalt, maybe 5. But we got 40 wake surf boats on the lake. So, I mean, if we're comparing a lot of things, but, there's 5 or 6 wake surf boats running on Long Lake at a time. Maybe 1 Sea Ray goes through and comes back, and they're not constantly going across. I watched a guy this weekend, your education, I didn't know where any of you guys were out there educating the people. I watched the guy go across the hump by you guys.
We already.
I bet you he went 15 times across that hump in 6 feet of water. Never lost his way. But he obviously, the map thing's not gonna work. This guy lives on the lake. He lives on the lake. So I don't know, unless you guys want education, get out there and watch him and then steer him clear of that. And I can guarantee you, somebody from off the lake's basically gonna tell you, we're gonna do what we want. But I'd like to see some of you wake surfers out there, maybe not wake surfing, but
30
doing
seconds.
education. What was that?
Your time is up.
No, 30 seconds.
Thanks.
Tom Annenberg, W2035, Beulah Heights Road, Camp Charles Ellis. Just another comment regarding the buoys. When you contact the riparian owners in the camps, I know that this has been discussed at the board level at Camp Charles Ellis, and they would be interested in being able to contribute dollars to purchase additional buoys or to make sure that it's well marked. So I don't know in your communications if you're gonna have some kind of offering that allows people to make a contribution or to make a suggestion to get better marking for a certain area, it would be appreciated. And I'm a big advocate for marking the sensitive areas in a different color and making sure that people know, and we use that as an opportunity to educate people where the sensitive areas are and that we have the required setbacks from those sensitive areas. That's it.
Anybody else?
Just got a quick question here. John Stoss, North 31 Stearns Bridge Road. You guys, I think, did the closed session early on? Alright, and was anything decided or happening in closed session?
We're not gonna tell you, John, what happened in closed session.
Well, no. Are you taking action, formal action? That's what I'm asking.
We're not gonna answer any questions, you can just wait to see, so if you have other comment, you can comment.
Okay, so don't you need to, if you come out of closed session, if you're gonna do something, you need to let the public know what you're gonna do, or is that not applicable?
We're not gonna answer any questions, John.
Okay, I'm not gonna ask any questions what happened in closed session, I'm just wondering what the protocol is. If you talk about something in closed session, are you required to come out and talk about an open session and make it binding? Or do you just talk in closed session, you don't say anything after that?
We're not gonna answer any questions, you have 2 minutes left to make public comment.
Okay, getting back to the buoys down on the west end of the lake there, if you want me to put those out, I'd be more than happy to put those 3 or 4 buoys out there, and wherever the spot you decide is appropriate, but I have no problem putting the buoys out for you.
Yeah, we'll talk after.
Okay, thank you.
Any further public comment? Going once, going twice. We have our next meeting on the agenda, and we're good we're going rooms and times and.
Oh, yeah, okay, it's marked on there. Yeah, everything's confirmed. And the August 25th one is the annual meeting.
Alright, and I'm going on my list.
did a roll call. The chairman's report, was in old business and new business. And I am up to. H. No, I'm not.
You already did.
I did H. I reconvened in J. And I'm on K, action on closed session, application to rezone N 8828 variance for growth from C4 to C2, and application for